Welcome, adventurers from across time and space. 5 creators have been brought together from across the internet for one purpose and one purpose alone: to travel through time and have a good time doing it. When big changes happen to the timeline, the change attracts other time travelers like gravity. They won't be able to move past it until they fix whatever was messed up. So our heroes are stuck together, but only for the time being. Welcome back, friends, to For the Time Being. It's so wonderful to have you all joining us for this amazing adventure. I am thrilled to be welcoming you once again. I am Ansel Burch, the Indecisionist, your dealer for the game of For the Time Being. We are playing the Mavericks system, a system that I wrote through Indecisionist Productions. It is a game based around a deck of cards as the random number generator and the artifact of play. And in this episode, we are finishing up our character creation process. That means next episode, 2 weeks from this release, you're going to get our first adventure. And guys, it's going to be so good. We're going back to ancient Sumeria. We're going to, it's good. It's good stuff. We're throwing our characters into the deep end, and they are going to see some wild stuff out there in the world. But first, we are going to finish off the mechanics of the characters with the final marks. These final marks are going to be what define the character's skills outside of their sort of core character creation sensibilities. And at the end of today's episode, I have a special treat, completely unprovoked. The amazing Stella Cheeks did an interview on my own podcast asking me about the inspirations for the game, and that stuff is tucked in there towards the end credits for your enjoyment, to get a little bit more information about the game itself and what inspired it. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at The Indecisionist or any of our cast members on their handles, and we'd love to hear from you how much you're enjoying the show. Let us know what you're thinking about these characters and what you're hoping they get up to as they go through their various adventures. And now, with no further ado... All right, so we have one last thing to do, and it is in some ways the most complicated.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is meta. This is going to step outside of our character creation storytelling and get into mechanics.
Okay.
And then we're going to deal 7 cards out.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. It's one of the other jokers. 5, 6, 7.
All right. So you can set the rest of the deck aside for now.
Okay, I didn't get any of my marked ones.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So you are now going to take a look at the top half of the marks chart, the standard marks.
Standard marks.
These marks are like special powers and abilities.
Okay.
They modify the cards in a way that is sort of independent of your character's like story, but still, I think, can inform that story if you wanted to.
Okay.
For example, if you could lean into the war cards if you wanted to be, aware of your fighting spirit. You can lean into riches if you wanted to go in that. But ultimately, what you want to think about is, what are the cards that you just drew, and how do you want to modify them? So I'll give you some time to take a look at all of the descriptions, because there are descriptions for each of the marks.
Yeah.
And let me know if you have any questions.
So, mark the back of the card with its face value. That's interesting. So then when we're drawing, I guess, okay, give me a quick rundown of how, like, a skill check works.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so if we were doing a skill check, then if it's just you, then you and I are going to both draw cards, and if my card is higher, then you fail. If your card is higher, you succeed.
Got it.
Nice and simple. If you want to test your luck, you're going to say, you're going to declare a suit. If the card you draw off the top of your deck is that suit, then you get lucky and whatever it is happens, you know? So if it's just like, I want to go outside and see if there's a guy selling fruit, and yep, it's a club, there's a guy out there selling fruit. It's just
definitely is there.
Up to luck, no skill, just a thing that happens. Where it gets interesting is whenever there's a conflict, whether it's a social conflict or like an actual like physical combat. That's a span of time, right? So we're going to represent that span of time with 3 cards. And those 3 cards will represent the beginning, middle, and end of that conflict, no matter how long it takes. So this could be a 2-minute bar fight or a 3-year war. We're going to represent it with these 3 cards.
Okay.
And there are a couple things that the marks affect that are relevant to that. And one element is that you as an individual are allowed to Monty Hall yourself as much as you want. Any face down cards that you dealt out, you can flip them around as much as you want. So if you have a clairvoyance mark, you know where the most important card is, or where a very important card is. You could put that card in at the end where it's going to impact the result. Or if it's a bad card, you can put it in the middle where it doesn't matter so much. Or you could take advantage of one of your other powers to like replace it or something. So that is the big thing to be aware of there, is that you can switch them around. And your cards are face down, as are my cards. So if you take any of these that allow you to remove a card from the spread or affect an opponent's card, that's what you're doing. You're looking forward to the end of this fight and changing the outcome. So it gives you more of a like board control effect.
Okay. I feel like she, as an actress, would be good at charm.
Charm feels very good. Yep.
And I feel like I have a 6, and I feel like double face value to a 12 would make that good. Like, I feel like it would be wasted on like a face card.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you put it on a face, that face card is unstoppable, right?
Yeah,
no one will ever be higher. But a 6, I mean, that makes a boring card into a quite respectable one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take charm and put it on the 6.
Oh, and sorry, I didn't get around to this. So you're going to put 7 marks on these cards. You do not have to put 1 mark per card.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I can put them wherever I want.
You could put all 7 on 1 card if you felt so inclined.
I have a 2 of hearts in here, and I feel like I'm really interested in having that be a sacrifice.
Yep.
Because that feels like an interesting, I think she would view it in a way of like, well, I clearly can't do this, but I have been in a lot of movies. And like, you're the star of this one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I think she sees everything in like that kind of like movie terms. Like,
this is your scene.
So yeah, this is your scene. So I'm gonna do the thing that heroically, that sacrifices myself out of the scene. Yeah, if I'm gonna have a death, it's gonna be the best death. So I have a Joker.
Okay, that's a value
and Joker's
0.
count is a 0.
So if you look at the bottom half of the chart, from Boone down, the value of the card does not matter.
Yeah.
So those are good ones to look at for this. could also do another sacrifice if you want that to be like a thing that comes up more frequently.
I like stunning for this one. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, stunning is one that I'm particularly excited to see in play more. It hasn't come up yet much in my play tests.
Yeah.
Because there's an obvious choice of like, okay, well, the antagonists who only get my 3 cards, right? Antagonists are going to be out for the middle or the end of the fight or whatever. But I think there's also an opportunity to like save somebody else from repercussions by like, hey, you get to take a breather for this middle card.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with the stunning mark. So that's a cool one to put in.
I have an Ace of Hearts, and I think I'm going to put confidence on that one.
Yep. Good choice.
Because that's sort of almost a guaranteed.
Yeah. Something pretty crazy would have to happen for me to beat you. In fact, I don't think I can beat you unless my antagonist has a special power.
Which is possible.
Because I don't mark my cards.
Wow.
Yeah, the dealer doesn't mark their cards. Instead, characters of NPCs of importance get a power. And so sometimes that power is like, every time they draw from this suit, they draw a second card and take the higher. Anytime they draw from this suit, they get to add a number to it. And there are a couple, powers that are sort of built in. But yeah. So it would be very hard for me as the dealer to beat an ace. And ties go to the player.
I also really like Doom. And I think the queen is going to be Doom.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know you said I didn't have to, but I like spreading them out. I think that's really interesting.
I mean, mathematically, that's the most advantageous way to do it. Because by the end of this, you have, I think if I'm remembering correctly, 19 marked cards in a pack of 54.
Yeah.
So, like, the odds are in your favor of drawing one at least a couple times during the course of a session, if not many times. Yeah.
I'm going to put clairvoyance on this 4. Because it's little. So I'm going to put and then you just mark the back of the card with its face value or 1 mark from its face. So I'm just going to put a 4 on it.
Just to let yourself know that one, don't count on that.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad one. Mm-hmm. That's pretty little. And then I have this 10. I'm going to have it be riches.
Okay. That makes it another hard to beat card. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to, like, I understand that, like, I don't know. I just feel like because she's kind of lived this charmed life that I think she just bulldozes into what she wants. And I think that the way that she does that is by just, like, blatantly refusing to believe that it's not a thing she can do, which is why like increasing, like, I was like, I know this is an ace, but I'm just gonna increase it. Like, let's make things bigger, right? Which is maybe not always the smartest choice mechanically,
but it's the most fun.
I think it makes the most sense for her, which is why when things don't go her way, she's just, like, sort of stymied. Like, what do you mean?
I really thought that was going to work. Yeah.
Like, this should have worked. This has always worked before. I don't know.
Excellent. Well, that's your character. You did it.
Yay! We did it.
I mean, she'll need a name for sure.
I feel like I have a name for her. Yeah, I have it in. I put it in the for the time being. Hold on, let me see.
Oh right,
Jeff helped me come up with a great one. because we were like, we need to have one. Elena Rhodes, which sounds both like a classic movie star or a porn star. Because all of those names sound the same, like a 30s, 40s starlet or a porn star all have that same sort of
that ring to it. Yeah. Very rhinestone. Rhinestone couture.
There she is.
Yeah,
we did
it. Yeah, we did it. All right, so we have your impediment. So the last thing to do, and this is the thing that gets a little bit meta. Now that you've shuffled your cards together, draw the top 7 off of the deck. Some of these may be ones that you've already marked. Some of them may not be. That's entirely the luck of the draw.
Oh shit, a lot of them are. I really shuffled. You saw me. I shuffled heavily.
I did. I saw it.
I shuffled heavily. This is not fair.
This might actually be good for you.
This can't be right. Out of the 7, I drew 5 with a mark on them.
Wow. I mean, do you want to shuffle again?
No, you saw me. I shuffled through like half of that conversation.
I did. And I saw you shuffle a bunch.
I was doing the flippy. I was doing the side shuffle. I shuffled the shit out of this.
You did. I watched it.
People heard it.
Yeah. We got the ASMR.
All right, fuck. All right.
Okay.
I want you to know that I drew all 3 of my ally cards.
Really? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So take a look at the standard marks.
Okay.
Now. So the top half of the marks chart.
Okay.
You get 7 marks to put on these cards. You do not have to put 1 mark on each card. You do not have to use all of the cards. And you do not have to pick 7 different marks. If you want to put the skill mark on every single one of these bitches, you totally can. So if that's clear enough, then I will let you read through the marks, ask any questions you may have. If you have a card that's already marked, like your ally cards, you know that's going to be a success, right? Those ally cards are already very strong, and they're going to bring another card into the fight. That might be a good opportunity for like the confidence mark. That might be a good mark for a good opportunity for the clairvoyance, so that you know it's coming. Yeah. Something like that. Whereas if you've got a low card, or a middle card, if you've got like a 6 or an 8, that might be a good one for the skill or war marks, because those are going to double the value of a decent card and make it a better card. And then you want to think about, those are the ones where you think about like, what kind of character is this? Am I a skillful character? Am I a violent character? Right. Am I a social character? That sort of thing. So I'll let you read through these, ask any questions you may have. Especially now that since you drew so many marked cards,
I know,
if you have
ridiculous.
questions about like the way that they play together, that's definitely something I'm interested in your thoughts on.
Well, I did the skill one. I drew 4 of spades, which had nothing on it, so I bumped that skill level up.
Okay, so that'll be an 8 when you draw it, which is still not amazing, but it's better. That's decent,
right?
Yeah,
it's better, right? So
it's way better, twice as good, you might say.
I think,
and I like the idea of you being especially skillful based upon your like tinkery, take things apart instincts.
I think I'm going to, because the queen was the source, right? So I'm gonna do clairvoyance on that one, because that makes sense thematically.
I like it.
I think that makes sense there. Draw an additional card from your deck into this round and choose the better of the 2.
Either the marked card or the one you draw. And if you're wondering, does that counteract the enemy card or the enemy mark? Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't draw any of my enemies. Okay, I'm gonna take back the skill one. Good thing it's wet, because I can take it off still. Okay. All right. I'm going to do that skill one, but I'm going to do it. Okay, wait. Where was this one? I'm going to actually boost. No, because that's already kind of high. But thematically, it makes sense. What the? Fuck.
Well, which one are you thinking about?
Okay, because like the 10 of clubs was the like how do you present to the world thing. I feel like upping that skill wise like makes sense.
Yeah, so totally. I think the skill mark on that, that makes that a card nigh unstoppable. Yeah. It becomes a 20 value.
Yeah.
Which is higher than any card naturally in the deck.
So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense.
Because like how I present to the world, I think is how I'm thinking of this character. I feel like this character isn't very it's just not like very manipulative, right? So I think like even though maybe she has all this family shit or whatever, like this is who she wants to be, so she works very hard to be that person.
You've upskilled as a result. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. So ruin would be something if you drew your enemy card, you would want to put ruin on it because it's bringing it down a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, ruin's a really good one. You know, in a couple different ways, but that would definitely be a way to use ruin. Well, no, actually, sorry, I was thinking of a different one. Ruin allows you to lower the face value of a different card. So probably my card, the dealer's card, by 3. So like if you know you like that 8, if you're like, hey, this 8 is a decent card but not a great card. If you can lower my card by 3, that 8 might become more powerful or more capable of getting across the goal line.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I feel like sacrifice and sacrifice would be an interesting card for you mark for you to work with as well.
Yeah.
If you have any really low
I
ones.
was thinking of either the sacrifice. If this card fails, double the value of an ally's card in the same conflict.
So like if you know this card is shit.
But I drew pretty high. Oh, I guess I could do this like 4, right? Because that's a good one.
Chances are pretty good that's not going to do it.
So I do sacrifice on that one, right? That's what we're talking about? Okay. Yeah. So I've done 3 marks so far. I do want to put 1 on each one. I know.
No, you drew 5 marked cards. Put 1 on each card. Why not?
Okay, I want to put the charm on the Jack of Clubs because that's like my bestie, and I'm like thinking that my bestie is like a snake oil salesman. Not actually a snake oil salesman, but like somebody who could like, what's that phrase? Sell a red popsicle to a woman in white gloves. Like I feel like that's my friend because I'm like the awkward one, and he's like, no.
He's the suave one.
Yeah. I'm feeling that for him. I'm feeling that for him. I think I'm gonna do confidence on my other ally card.
Oh yeah, that makes total sense.
Especially because that's my unnamed familial card. So I feel like there's some like maybe pride wrapped up in there, which could be interesting.
Yeah, gifts for others.
Yeah.
You do come from wealth, so maybe that's your like abundance mindset.
Yeah. Oh man, some of these are really good. Okay, I know I don't want to do the war one. And we did.
You can use skill more than once or charm more than once.
I know, but I like want to have like variety.
That's fair. You haven't chosen any Doom yet.
Yeah. Wait, what did I do on 4? Sacrifice. Not ruin. Okay. Sacrifice. Yeah, I was looking at Doom, or I was looking at Boon, I guess. I was looking at Doom or Boom. But I guess Doom. Sure.
And Doom is not dependent on the card succeeding or failing.
Yeah, that's true.
It just happens.
Yeah. But I feel like that's one that like everybody's gonna want to take. Maybe I want to do one that's not
Fair.
Not...
If it helps, I don't believe any of the other people who have built characters have.
Okay, well then I'll do it. Whatever. I don't know how this. I feel like I drew that weird. Okay. I got skill. I got charm. I got sacrifice. Got clairvoyance. I feel like the way I drew confidence and I drew doom are similar, but I'll just put a C in the middle so I'll know that it's confidence. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, right? I do 7.
Yeah, so one more.
I want to do. Oh man, I do not know what this. Look, I want to do. How do you say it? Augury? Is that how you say it?
Augury, yeah.
Because this is on my.
Or augury, if you want to get extra British.
Nature card, which I drew this totally wrong. I can't see that. It's like a little swoopy doop on top of a straight line.
Yeah.
Because this one is.
It's like a Napoleon hat.
Okay, is on my. Wait, maybe I don't want to do
that. So since you're thinking about it, something that I doubt that you've read the whole system, Doc.
I haven't. Sorry.
The reason that this is good is you are always allowed to Monty Hall yourself. So the cards that have not been revealed of yours, you're always allowed to switch them around.
Okay.
So once you've dealt out the 3 cards that define this combat, you can move them. And that's one of the reasons that clairvoyance makes sense, because you can move the clairvoyant, you can move the card to where you want it in the pack, in the story. Augury allows you to look at any of the face down cards in the spread, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, I like that because that's on my nature card, which was the like duty to others type deal, and I think
taking things apart and figuring them out.
And being like, how do I fix this? It's like in Masks, the like what here benefits me most or whatever.
Yes.
I put 1 on each.
There you go. And you did it. That's the whole character generation process.
So now I have to fill in some blanks. Like,
yeah, I hope it's given you some inspiration. Yeah. It seems like it has. Any thoughts you want to like continue teasing out before we call it a night?
I'm just trying to think of like what I should look like as an alien, because I feel like I can't come rocking in the medieval times with like blue skin, right? I mean, I could.
Nothing's stopping you.
I feel like it needs to be like a Vulcan or like Klingon thing where it's like, I mean, it's a little weird, but it's not like that weird.
Yeah, it's passing.
Right. I mean, like, I mean, Klingons are pushing it, but you know what I mean, where it's just like,
yeah.
I mean, you're an alien.
Well, depending on which Klingon.
Yes, right. Depending on which Klingons. You're like weird, but like you're like not that weird.
You could also go with the hollow projector, like, this isn't my real face disguise situation. Totally. Have you watched Resident Alien?
No, but Alan I should Tudyk? Because I love Alan Tudyk. What were we watching the other day with Alan Tudyk? So I've been watching a lot of night movies, and we watched A Knight's Tale, and I was like, I forgot Alan Tudyk was in this. So and then we were watching the Harley Quinn TV show, and I was like, God, why is he so good in everything? He's so good.
He's so good.
Is that he has like a human skin projector? It's a gross way to say it.
Yeah, his character like he changes to the molecular level into a human when he arrives.
Interesting.
It's this whole like transformation sequence, very werewolfy style. But he has to kill a guy to steal his body.
Well,
or his
gotta crack some eggs, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll think about that. Because I think it could be fun to do that. But also, I feel like there's something to be said about like the mysteries of like, why does this alien look so much like us?
Mm-hmm. which is fun. Yeah, it gives us that like progenitor.
Yeah.
Concept.
Or like maybe there's a reason why I'm always being pulled to Earth type deal.
Yeah, if you're the planets are connected in some way. I do like the idea of a small enough difference, like Spock's ears.
Yeah, you just put a fucking beanie on.
Yeah, you put a beanie on, and as long as nobody takes the beanie off, you're cool. The second your hat comes off your head, you're boned.
You're an alien, man. Yeah.
Nobody on Earth could have those ears. No way.
Yeah, so I want to think about that. Like what does that look like?
I wonder if it's something with your hands.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking about it being a limb-based.
We're vibing.
A limb-based difference. I'm just wearing gloves.
Since you're a take-a-party sort of person, I wonder if you've got like extra dexterous fingers or more of them, or an extra set of arms or
long,
something.
creepy fingers. Does have to keep my hands in my pocket the whole time. Yeah, I want to think about that because I think that could be cool. But I am thinking like a limb thing.
I think that's cool. I like it. Or maybe your hands are the other way around.
Yeah.
Like a Rakshasa.
Or just like big monster claws. Just kidding.
Yeah, big, yeah.
I think it's got to be like something too, like a weird eye color. So people just assume that I have like contacts in. And then. Because like, I feel like.
For sure.
Yeah, it could just be some surfacey stuff like they did in like the 1960s Star Trek, where it's just like that's just like some weird purple blush. But like it could be, you know, purple skin or whatever.
My people have eyeshadow.
Yeah, right. So yeah, but I am kind of feeling a hand thing. I want to think about that.
That's cool.
Yeah. What if it's like a Mortal Kombat thing where it's like something comes out of my hand?
Oh, yeah.
That's gross.
That'd be dope.
I think about that all the time. I think about like, what if my hand is just split open like Scorpion? Why do I think about that so much?
I think that tells us something about how much Mortal Kombat you played.
It's an excellent game. I'm not really a video game girly, but I do love fighting games. I want to beat the shit out of everyone.
Same. I'm terrible at them, but I still love them.
Yeah, they're fun as hell.
Because we're just...
Okay, so I've got 9 of clubs, 2 of spades, 3 of diamonds, 5 of hearts, 7 of spades, 4 of clubs, 10 of spades.
Okay.
Let's do like a more tactician build. I think that would be fun.
Okay. If you look at the last 4 on the chart, Fate, Augury, Stunning, and Clairvoyance are a little bit more tactical. They let you move more cards around in the field and see other people's cards, so you can kind of understand where to go. So those are good control cards or control marks to have.
Okay, let me put Fate on the 10 of spades, and then I'll put Stunning on the 7 of spades. I will do the Augury on the 5 of hearts. I will do Clairvoyance on the 9 of clubs. And then I get 3 more? 7 marks total?
7 total, yeah.
I'll do Doom on my 4 of clubs. And then I'll do Sacrifice on my 2 of spades.
Heck yeah.
And then I think I'm going to do Fate again on the 3 of diamonds.
Heck yeah.
Those are my marks.
Excellent. Your deck is prepared. Your character is made.
But yeah, I'm excited.
All right. So I'm assuming your card is marked and you've made your notes. The next step is to shuffle all those cards back into the deck. Shuffle it until you feel you've shuffled it enough.
Gotcha. Alrighty. just making my last notes on all the cards if I put them in there.
Yeah.
Like, all the things
take
that
your
we
time.
just discussed.
We are in no rush whatsoever. In fact, we're making great time. Registrations are rolling in for Pickup Con. Very exciting.
Nice. Okay, so putting them all in and doing some ASMR shuffles.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know why I got a push notification about this, but police in LA found a man had stolen 2,800 boxes of Legos.
What? That is
That's wild.
Yeah. Oh, that was a bad shuffle. Let me try again. Okay, final shuffle. Legos. What do you do with all those Legos?
I mean, I presume he was selling them on the secondary market, but
Legos? I mean, I guess.
oh yeah, Legos are expensive.
Oh no, my shuffling powers are dying. They just fell out of my hand. What's going
Oh
on?
no, I hate it when that happens.
All right,
Then
let's
you
try.
question everything. You're like, what? But I know how to do this.
That was a good one. Okay, I'm good.
You got your groove back?
Yes.
All right. If you've shuffled as much as you feel you want to shuffle, you're going to then peel off the top 7 cards. You can deal them face up.
Question: are Jokers supposed to be in the deck? I didn't take them
Yes.
out. Okay, so I just drew one of them. Oh no, I just drew one of my adversaries.
Ooh, that's great. So these 7 cards are now your palette. You get to put 7 marks on these cards. You can choose which cards you mark. You can choose how many marks go on each card. The only rule is you are putting 7 marks. So that is the limit. You could put all 7 on one card. You could put 1 on each. However you want to split that up. 7 marks onto these cards. So, because you dealt an adversary to yourself, you could offset that. If you wanted to, represent that you maybe came to an understanding with that enemy at some point in your past. Maybe you've offset that enmity, and you can add an ally mark to it. Well, you couldn't put an ally mark on it because that's a special mark, but you could put one of the standard marks on to lessen the blow or adjust the effect if you wanted to.
I mean, that sounds like a good idea, but I also drew the 10 of spades, which was my other card from my first 5.
I mean, that's one of your background marks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that the value of that card is going to go up by 6 anyway.
So I should say, okay, I wouldn't need to save it for that.
But you can do something like the confidence card. if it's a card you know is really good, you can put the confidence mark on it. And if that card succeeds, you're gonna increase the value of a different card by 3. So you can buff one of your allies, or maybe the next card that you draw in that same spread.
Okay.
So if you've got a really good one, you could do that. Similarly, if you've got one where you're pretty confident it's going to fail, there's the sacrifice card, which doubles the face value of an ally's card if it fails. Oh, Boon. Boon is the one that would offset enemy card.
Okay, Boon. Okay, I'm definitely going to do that with the 6 of hearts here. One of them viziers, maybe I have him in my pocket. I don't know.
Yeah.
And now I do the devil's card. I have 6, 6, 6. Funny. Okay, so I think I will definitely put the Boon on that one. So I have 6 left. I'm a fan of even spreading, but I might leave one of them blank. So, all right, but we're done with the 6 of hearts for now.
Are there any things about your character that you don't feel are represented yet? That might be something we can add marks to indicate in this part of the character creation process.
Yeah, so I have the 10 of diamonds, and I know that means, like merchants, riches, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not a bad guy. He could be slightly tyrannical and be in his head, but in the end, he does want what's best for his people. So I feel like we haven't represented his kinder side. All cats like to be, or can be friendly at some point.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make the 10 of hearts, maybe, even though, yes, it may come off as catty, no pun intended. But his remarks do have a sense of sincerity to them. He definitely has this lack of empathy where his words are just, he doesn't realize he's saying it. He's like, I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just telling the truth, kind of thing. But when you get to know him and realize who he is, this could be more of like showing, okay, so he does care in his own special way. What would that be? Charm? No.
It could be charm. Yeah, I was trying to think about that.
But I feel like it's a high card. It'll be a waste to double the face value. Right? Do we consider 10 a high card?
10's pretty high, yeah. I mean, the king is the highest with a value of... an ace is the highest with a value of 14. So 10's pretty close.
Look at...
I mean, maybe sacrifice to indicate that you're willing to put other people ahead of yourself. It wouldn't work on that 10, but you could certainly mark a card with sacrifice.
Okay.
I mean, wouldn't work. They all work. It would be less likely to be effective on a 10.
Then maybe 10 be the one I won't touch. And let's look at... So I have a Joker card. What is the Joker card?
So the Joker has a value of 0.
Okay, so doubling that is useless.
Yeah, doubling it would be useless. Adding numbers to it would be useful, potentially. It's also a great one for the sacrifice card, because you know it's going to fail. It can't not fail.
I like that, yeah. I think I'll put the Joker as a sacrifice card.
The Joker is also a good one to look at for fate and augury. So because it's not dependent on the value of the card, fate allows you to change the order of other people's cards. Augury lets you mark the back of the card with the Joker, so you know it's going to be a Joker before you flip it.
I like the fate card because it's a Joker, so I feel like you get to play around with fate.
Mm-hmm. It's you messing with people, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do that. So that's 2. I do the 6 of clubs, since that is a low card, as the Not as low as like what I like it to be to ensure it, but it's still kind of low, middle of the pack. So I will put that for the sacrifice.
Okay. And keep in mind, you can use these marks more than once.
Okay.
So if you wanted to have a whole deck of skill marks, you could, or a whole 7 skill marks, you could do that.
The 6 of spade I will do as because spades are about war. I'm gonna use that as the war card and double its value in conflict. So I'll put war for my 6 of spades. The ace of clubs. That's a pretty high card. So if we know it's going to be successful, how about the confidence?
That's a good one for confidence.
Yeah. So ace of clubs is confidence. Okay. The 10 of spades. I will put riches in there. Because increasing it by 3 would just get it up there to like one of those like Joker, King, Queen kind of cards. Just get it up.
Yeah.
Like riches through war. Because of course, a lot of my money came from war.
There you go.
All right, so 10 of spades. I'm going to put riches. All right, so that just leaves one more that I will probably. You say I will double up.
Yeah, you can absolutely use the same mark more than once.
I will use the Joker as both. Oh wait, can you? Yeah, can you put a different mark on the same card, like 2 different marks
on the same card? Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna have the Joker as fate and sacrifice as well, if that will work. So I could change the order and then use it because I know it will fail, even though I have it. So on top of using its fate ability, right? Would that be how it would work? Even if it fails, I still get to use its ability, but the card still fails.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. So yeah. So you can use the fate ability and the sacrifice if you wanted to.
Yeah. So I have 2 sacrifices to show that he really does have a heart of gold.
Yeah. He's humble down in there. Or alternately, he's a good chess player and knows when, well, that piece is trash.
Yeah, I like how that sounds better. So many good ones here. Nice. Yep, I think I like that. The 10 of spades, riches, king of clubs, sacrifice. 6 of hearts is the boon. Joker is the fate and sacrifice. 6 of spades is war. The ace of club is confidence, and nothing on the 10 of diamonds.
I like this a lot. I think you've done very well with your character creation. And that, Omar, is that. You have done all of the things to create your deck. Your deck is now your character sheet for all intents and purposes. And as you play with it, it will grow and change. You will add more marks as we go. As bad things happen, some cards may become scarred, and in some cases, the mark of humility may make you better through your failures. But ultimately, this deck will continue to grow and change as your character does.
Awesome.
So yeah, I am so stoked to learn more about your character. Have you come up with a name?
I did, but I didn't write it down. It was definitely a very Egyptian-like name, but you call him something for short, and it was like Indoxamoon or something like that, and it was like Andy for short. But or something like that. It. But it sounds similar to that. I'll have it completely finished out. I want to make sure it actually. I want to do more. I love ancient Egypt. It's one of my favorite civilizations to study. And I want to kind of dive in at some significant ancient Egyptian words that will symbolize this, and then I can turn into like a like Andy for short, and you can call him that, but he has like a full, like, long, hard to pronounce name that I will practice and perfect. And then yeah, have that be his name. So I will definitely be coming up with something.
I like where that's going. Okay, and the last thing I will ask before we end today's session, is there anything about this character that you know of right now that you're really excited to bring into the game that you want to make sure is present? Like an element, a reveal? Is there something that's been inspired that we haven't talked about already that you like really want to make sure makes it out into the sessions that we get to play?
So he's a cat. Like, he's an actual cat. He's not really more so kind of like if you watch Sabrina, the with Melissa Joan Hart, how Salem was like a talking cat, but really a person, but cursed and all that. I kind of want to play on that, where he can, with the small elements of magic and it being able to invoke Bastet, I want to be able to transform into like a very feline featured human when needed to like.
Ooh. Like the cat from Red Dwarf.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
And have that come into play, and maybe not have everyone know that yet. It's kind of like his secret identity, even from those, unless you're really close to him. But like when it comes in handy, such as like, we don't allow pets here, and it's like, I have a servant, don't worry. And then I don't know, something that we go play around where
I like it.
This character comes up, and
maybe he looks a little bit like your old servant as like an homage.
Yeah, but then I have like still those same cat eyes.
Oh yeah,
that you can tell.
Your creepy diamond cat eyes.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's a really cool idea. And yeah, I will definitely endeavor to give you situations where you need to get up to those kinds of shenanigans.
Definitely. And I do want it to be some sort of like, and I haven't thought about it, maybe we could think about it together, like a detriment, like why he wouldn't just always be in human form. Like, it's like, I only go into my human form because it's when I'm most vulnerable. Like, I don't have access to like my true cat like abilities and my like super wit. When I'm in this, I'm like encased in human like skin that like really prevents me from connecting with the cat goddess and everything. So like I feel like out of my element. Like when a cat's wet, it's like, ugh, human body.
Well, and it's funny you say like when a cat's wet, because it immediately makes me think of Aquaman. Like, I wonder if there's like, oh, I've been away from my fur too long, I'm losing my powers or something like that. Like there's a ticking clock on you.
Yes, I like that. If he stays too much of his human form, he can maybe stuck that way, and his kind of abilities will not be there. But like if we need to be incognito, I need to be in his form. You'll see me sweating, like trying to leave the situation, so I can just go back into my cat form. But then it will delay the amount of time until I can go back to my human form. So if it's like we're in a dicey situation and like all eyes on me, because of course he's going to be extremely charismatic, but like overly charismatic, more narcissistic. The spotlight's on me, but like if the spotlight's on him, and his clock is ticking in his human form, maybe like a tail pops out and he kind of hides it behind. His ears start to pop out at moments because he can't just hold it in, or if he takes too much of a big hit, he just transforms back correctly.
Oh yeah, like a wild shape.
Yes.
Ooh, actually, that's a great way to do it. Maybe, yeah, if you treat it like that, if you take a hit, which I'd say we could probably also include, in social conflict, it just sort of knocks you out of it, or has a potential to do so. I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I like it. Yep.
What a cool character concept. Thank you for bringing him. Thank you for creating him with me. This is I'm very exciting.
It's my way to like be out, because I'm a dog person. I love dogs. I think cats are jerks, but now I could.
The hilarious part is like, I'm a cat person, and yeah, cats are jerks. Yeah, that is an accurate. That's why we like them.
It's like I could finally play The thing, not that I don't hate cats, I think they're cute-ish, but now I can actually live as a cat.
Yeah. And who doesn't want that?
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And yeah, let's, I guess next time we talk in front of these microphones, we'll be playing our first session.
Yes, I'm excited.
Oh, so cool. All right. Well, I will end the recording there.
Ansel, what inspired you to create this game?
I've been listening to a show. It's called Campaign. They did a Star Wars campaign for a long time, and now recently they've been doing an original world where they are airship pirates, which is very cool. They have this deck of cards that they use in their game that it's basically like a tarot deck.
Yeah.
And they use it to like inspire stuff sort of outside of the standard game mechanics. And I was really enjoying that. And then there was another card game I heard about that that used a deck of cards and an augury sheet to sort of like guide you through their game. And so there was just a lot of like card stuff kind of going on, melding around in the old brain pan. And for whatever reason, I thought to myself, what if you could use a deck of cards? And originally they were tarot cards. Right. What if you could use a deck of tarot cards as your random number generator, as your dice? But also, what if the deck of cards took on extra meaning? Yeah. So part of my thought was, you know how some people buy like a set of dice for their character? Yeah. And they're like, yeah, these are my dice for this character, and these are my dice for this character. And then, you know, you get really attached to them and they go on a shelf, and, you know.
And then your game falls apart and it's not your fault. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, what if you had a deck of cards?
I like
that?
It.
You know, deck of cards is, you know, you could go super cheap. You can go real expensive. You can mark these up as you go, and it becomes an artifact of your gameplay.
I love that.
And so, yeah, it was just sort of this combination of factors that kind of conspired all at the same time. But yeah, at its core, I originally wanted to build a game around tarot cards. But I got a lot of feedback that nobody wants to mark on tarot cards.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah, I could see that.
So until I come out with a very cheap way to produce markable tarot cards.
I mean, they have cheap dumb ones you could get.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can print a deck of tarot cards right now. They're just kind of a pain in the ass to
shuffle,
cut out. If you print them on the good cardstock, they shuffle actually quite nicely.
All right.
I just used like matte cardstock. And then I used a big paper guillotine to cut them all down.
Paper guillotine.
And yeah, they turned out really nice. They're just, it takes forever to make a single deck. And I'm like, nah, it's
a lot of cards.
I need a factory that will do this for me.
It's a cool idea, though. You should not give up on your tarot deck.
Oh, I'm not. I originally developed Mavericks, which is which is the version we're playing for the podcast, with the intention that you could choose either. You could do tarot or standard playing cards. And then from there, I kind of got some feedback about the tarot thing, and I was like, okay. And it's also, there was a lot of concern about, is it fair to use a tarot deck when you also against a standard 52? And I was like, well, fair doesn't really matter. We're telling a story together. It's more about the probability of your marked cards coming up, as opposed to getting inspiration from the tarot deck. But, you know, whatever. If you care about fair, sure.
That's so if you give a shit about fairness.
You're on a team. You know you're on a team, right? It's really just fuck me over that you want to do. But then the other piece of feedback that I got recently from a publisher, it was saying you really need to focus this in on a genre. Because people don't buy a game system, they buy the story that you tell from it. So I'm developing 2 offshoots from this. One is going to be the one I'm going to put out for Gen Con this year is called Cards, and it's a criminals game. So it's for rakes, rogues, rapscallions, roustabouts, and ne'er-do-wells, and it's the same base mechanic, but there will be like randomized tables and charts for criminal based attributes and random characters based upon which cards you draw, right? So it's going to give it a little extra criminal flair to put on top of the base engine. And I'm going to do a pirate one, and I'll probably do 2 more, so there's like 1 for each suit. And the idea is that all of these are built on this core system, and if they take off, if there's enough interest, then I can start doing like, oh, well, here's a custom set of cards that you can buy from me for each setting. Or these ones have, pre-printed on them all the characters from the cards deck. That sort of thing. As well as maybe like, okay, here's a 5-pack of cheap tarot cards. Yeah. Please draw on them.
Please draw on them. Well, and that's so interesting too, because tarot people, treat it. Some people are like, oh, tarot. And like, I get it. My tarot deck, I wouldn't draw on it because she reads me to filth every time. But like tarot, like was a card game. Like it has a history of being played as a card game. Like
that was the original intention. Yeah. If it weren't for that cool art, we'd still be playing.
But nope. It's got cool art, and they're expensive.
Yeah. The cool art and the gold leaf was kind of, Stella Cheeks is at Stella Cheeks on Instagram and Bluesky. Sarah Moore is at Pixies and Pins on all of the social media channels and at pixiesandpins.com. You can also check out her Sarah's Table live streams on Twitch at Pixies and Pins. Omar Burgos is at Tailweaver. Check out his work on the Tale of D20's TTRPG channel. More information at ataleofd20s.com. Ben Banks is at DJ_Blindian on Instagram and SoundCloud. I'm Ansel Burch, and you can find me at The Indecisionist on all of the meta properties and on Bluesky. Special thanks to Cameron Avesk Davis for the song you're hearing now and at the beginning of the podcast. This has been an Indecisionist production. Go to Indecisionist.com to find more of our work, including my monthly gaming event, TTRPG Pickup Con, and my other time travel podcast, Time to Party. As you travel at 1 second per second, take some time out for these intrepid adventurers. They may be in trouble, but only for the time being.